Hey everybody, there's a lot of different ways of converting a color image into black and white by using Photoshop. And what I'm going to share with you today is a filter that most people know about, but that's as far as they go. And we don't want to do that. We want to take a filter that we have in Photoshop and do this. Creatively think out of the box. So are we ready for this? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, this is dedicated to photography and as a photo artist, literally pushing ourselves creatively out of the box. All right, with that out of the way, I had a few questions that came in probably the last couple of months, and that is, what are some of the ways that we can actually convert an image to black and white, which I've done in the past on some past videos. But somebody had made a comment, is there an easy way, something that I can do creatively, but it's not very complex? And so I was thinking about it and I go, well, yeah, we all know something called the black and white filter that's built into Photoshop we've had for years. Okay, it's simple, very easy to do, which I'm going to share with you. If you're new to Photoshop, this might be new to you. But if you've been around for a while, you go, well, yeah, I know the black and white filter. Okay, so I'm going to use that, but I'm going to add a couple things to push ourselves creatively out of the box. Because again, that's what this channel is about, is thinking out of the box. Let's just not accept generic settings, say in a imaging software like Photoshop. All right, so let's jump into Photoshop. Let's take a look at this. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, if you can do me a favor, and that is help me out by liking the video, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and hit the notification bell. That's way the next way I upload a video, you'll get notified on that. All right, so let's take a look at an image. This is just a stock image I have. For the people that know me, I'm a collector and buyer of backgrounds and stuff from different sources over the years, maybe about 15. Next year will be my 16th year. I might be slowing down on buying backgrounds because I've got like well over 1,000 different images in different categories. Anyhow, I need something to start with. So this will work with any category of photography that you do. So if you're a landscape photographer, you could do this. It doesn't matter. It might be a portrait, boudoir, wedding, anything that you want to convert from color to black and white will work. So if you come over here in layers, again, if you're new to Photoshop, you may not know this, but if you've been around a bit using Photoshop, you know that we have this little button here. I call it the Oreo cookie dipped in milk. And I click on this, I get a little pop-up menu, and about halfway down, there's a feature called black and white. So if I choose this, this is our black and white filter. Now, it just allows us to go into an area called properties right here, and we can play with the sliders on changing the look of our black and white conversion with this filter, which is great. And the settings are always going to be different based on your image because it's based on, images have different colors in it. So there isn't a generic setting that you're going to use. You have to experiment with the sliders to get the look that you want. Okay, so that's an easy conversion. But again, the channel is, hey, let's push ourselves creatively thinking out of the box again. So, this is a good start for us, but consider doing, I don't know, 1, 2, or more things. I'm going to share a couple things for you. And again, you don't have to do this, but again, I don't want you to simply have the attitude that I'm just going to accept what this filter does. So with this layer selected, that's our main image, I'm just going to do Control J or Command J on a Mac. And so there we have a duplicate copy of that background. And I'm going to consider doing this. I'm going to go to my blending modes right here and choose something in the drop-down menu. Now, what's really nice is that when you go to the blending options, you hover over these, it'll actually preview what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to select something. And again, what you choose, it's going to be different, again, based on your image. So I'm going to go with vivid light. That's very strong, and that's fine because I can play with the opacity on this and pull this down. So again, it gives me a different look. There's before, after, before, and after. Now, again, to me, it's too strong, but I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to do one other thing. And you don't have to stop with adding this extra thing I'm going to share with you, because again, this is all about pushing ourselves creatively. All right, so with this selected, I'm going to go to the gray area right here. I'm going to right mouse click and come about 2/3 of the way down to convert that layer into a smart object. Now that I have that selected, it's going to allow me to go to a filter category, and I'm going to come down here to blur. And, Gaussian blur I've used a lot, but I'm going to do something different. I'm going to choose a motion blur instead. And when this opens up, I'm going to change, let's add our distance here. So where it says distance, I'm going to slide this over to the right a little bit. I'm going to change the angle of this and maybe push a little bit more. And the cool thing now, you can see it's adding a bit of, almost like a blur, but it's just almost like a fogging effect. Very soft look. Now I'm going to go back here to the vivid light, and over here on the right side, it's at 100%. Let me scrub across to pull this down a little bit to maybe, let's go with 45. I want to make sure you see this. So there's a before, after, before, after. If I turn off the motion blur, you can see a difference. So a very soft look to the black and white. Now here's the cool thing. And again, you could play around and go back to motion blur and say, oh, I want more blur or less blur. And again, you're the artist, right? There's no right or wrong. It's the feel that you get, what you want to do. I'm going to select the mask here. I'm going to grab my paintbrush, so B for brush. And I'm going to make sure it's 100%, which it is. And I'm going to paint in black on the mask over areas where I want clarity to come through. So I don't want that soft look. And so I would just selectively paint in the areas that I want to bring in some of the sharpness. And this is all, again, your design, your feel, your look. Maybe I'll do these in the windows. I want them to be a little bit sharper. But yeah, I do want that sort of soft, foggy look around the windows and stuff. But things that are on the windowsill, I'd like to have sharp. So let's zoom in here and see if we can see a difference here. If I go to, let's slide this back here. If I go to the mask right here, and I hold the shift key and click on the mask, it turns off my masking. So you can see, I had to zoom in there so you can actually see the before and after on this. And again, if I move around, turn it on and off, you can see what it's doing to the black and white image. And by the way, again, if you're learning anything here, if you can do me a favor, and that is like the video, subscribe if you have not, and hit that notification bell. Next time I upload a video, you'll get notified. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My private email address is right here at the bottom of the screen. It's stephenphotoartist@gmail.com. So feel free to email me. If you want to make comments on YouTube, please go for that. But this is just an example of thinking creatively, again, out of the box and doing something a little bit different here. I started with this and I ended up with that. So it's up to you to start out with a basic black and white filter, but I'm going to encourage you not to accept that. Think about adding what I just did and go beyond this. If you want to keep pushing it, keep going further and experiment with it and come up with your own little formula for converting, a color image into black and white. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get that camera out. Let's practice. My saying a lot of times is get that camera out and make a lot of mistakes. Why? Because we learn from making mistakes. It's digital. It's not costing us money like film did in the past. So push yourself. And again, literally think creatively out of the box. Until next time, see ya.